Hello everybody, this is Steve Yoder. Welcome to week 6 in Legal Studies 246, the legal environment of business, here in the summer of 2018 at the UAB Collat School of Business. This week we are finishing up our look at the law of torts. We will be covering the law of negligence, which you could say is the law of unintentional wrongs against other people or property, and we will very importantly have the first exam opening on Thursday, June 14 at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and closing at 11:59 p.m. the next day, Friday, June 15 at 11:59 p.m. You'll have 75 minutes for this exam, and you must start it at least 75 minutes before that deadline on Friday night. The system closes completely no matter when you started it at 11:59 p.m. on Friday night, June 15. I highly recommend that you look at the short video in the Getting Started Learning module on how to prepare for an exam for this course. It includes a number of what I think are very helpful tips. Here's a free peek at an actual question from the question pool for the first exam. You might not necessarily get this question in your first exam, but look at it. This tests your knowledge of the concept of stare decisis, and it's a good lesson on how to take an exam, a multiple choice question in an exam. Stare decisis is a doctrine obligating judges to follow. The correct answer is the last question, the last answer. Precedents established within their jurisdictions. The other answers sound fancy, and if you haven't studied, if you haven't listened, if you haven't done the learning activities, they may actually sound very official. You might have heard those words on NCIS or some other television show. Comity, maxims, judgments, all sound very official. They have nothing to do with this concept of stare decisis, which is the concept that within a particular jurisdiction, like a state, if one judge has decided a set of facts in a particular way, all judges coming after him or her have to decide it the same way. Quick recap: intentional torts we covered last week. These are intentional wrongs against people or property. We talked about, for example, the tort of assault and the tort of battery. They are two different concepts. We talked about some of the defenses that are available for intentional torts, like the defense of consent. You give consent to your surgeon to commit battery on you when he or she uses a scalpel to cut you open, to make an incision in you, to perform the surgery, but you give consent because you think you're going to get better as a result. We also talked about the intentional tort of defamation, which is very much in the news. There are different rules for public figures like President Trump. It would be very difficult for President Trump to claim that he had been defamed because he has put himself out in the public eye, and there has to be actual malice shown, and that is a difficult standard. A lot of discussion about defamation in the many lawsuits surrounding President Trump, arising out of his alleged relationship with Stormy Daniels. She has sued him, the president, because she believes that he defamed her when he has said that she lied about their affair. He says they did not have an affair, and then he said she's a liar for saying they did. She's saying you're calling me a liar is defamation. This week we'll be looking at the law of negligence, unintentional torts, and in this branch of the law, like in some other branches that we will see in future weeks this summer, a checklist is very important. Here are the elements that you must establish in order to be successful in a negligence lawsuit. I strongly suggest in situations like this where there are 5 or 6 things to be remembered that you not try to memorize them, that you keep them written down somewhere and refer to them. Checklists are very widely used in many settings, such as in flying airplanes and in conducting surgery. There are defenses to unintentional torts, just as there are defenses to intentional torts. Here's an example of a tort created by law. In this case, the Alabama legislature thought that a special law was necessary to make it a tort if you allow people to drink at your house, to drink alcohol at your house, and then if they leave and injure someone, the Alabama legislature thought that you should be held liable to those people who get injured, because you should not allow people to leave your house intoxicated. They felt that is negligent for people to do, and most states have the same law. Here's an example of a woman who broke that law in Alabama. Finally, here is a look at the calendar. Look at all those things that are due, as I said, on Friday night, June 15 at 11:59 p.m., the first exam, but also note that anything else that has not closed, any other quiz, any other assignment that has not closed, is due on Friday night, June 15 at 11:59 p.m. You do not have the weekend to complete those assignments. You must get it done by Friday night. Please look at that video on how to prepare for an exam, and I certainly wish you good luck on that first exam.